Welcome back, everyone. A St. Catharines-based company has a short history of a couple of years, but in that time they have made it very big in the United States and hope to do the same here in Canada, and well, they should. We welcome Dick Lee, the CEO of Altius Games, to tell us a little bit more about how this all got started and why it's become so successful. Dick, nice to have you with us.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Now, you've only been around for a couple of years, but already the game has taken off in the United States. How did this all happen?
Yeah, it's done really well. Our team came up with the concept Olympic Challenge about a couple of years ago, and what we've done, we've launched it into the U.S. because there were some complications with the Canadian Olympic Committee. So we went to the United States Olympic Committee, and they saw the idea, and they liked the idea, and we launched it into the U.S. And under a year ago, we got into the Kmart shelves. So it's a real success story on the mass market. Now what we're doing is we're working with the Canadian Olympic Committee still through Vancouver Organizing Committee and trying to get into the Canadian side as we go forward.
Now, does the game deal with all Olympic-based questions for example, the United States, U.S. teams, or is it the Olympics per se, everybody that's involved in the Olympics every 4 years?
Basically, most of the questions, about 80% of them are generic content, so it dates way back to the beginning of the Olympic history. And it's current till nowadays Olympics, and but 20% of the content is more based towards the United States Olympic.
Now, how does the game go? How's it played?
Basically, you travel through the rings on the board there, and there's 5 categories: countries, athletes, rules and records, Olympic history, and events. Those are the 5 categories. Right. All the questions are multiple choice for easy gameplay. Where the experts can play is the questions can be asked as straight answer, and the experts can come in and answer them.
Interesting. So you're getting an education in this as well as having some fun just playing a game.
Definitely.
Now, Dick, this game is in schools in the United States, and you're hoping that you can have the same thing happen here. Why and how did it get into schools in the U.S.?
Basically, all our games, we have our tagline, support, play, learn. So we want the kids to learn something valuable in all our games, and we want to support that education process. In this particular case, we want to support the Olympics. We think that's a huge phenomenon. Sure. With our new product coming out, it's called the Bump and Die. We've introduced a base product which revolves around the environment. It's called the Altius Tunes Bump and Die. There's 7 cartoon characters that battle the big bad pollution, and that's our base introductory. For 2008, we're planning on coming out with more games focused on the environment and learning aspects like mathematics and English.
So not one to rest on your laurels here. You've got lots of irons in the fire. Tell me a little more about Bump and Die, because that's a smaller handheld kind of thing, but what's the premise behind that? Yeah,
Bump and Die, basically, I'm just going to move this out here to capture a view on the die. You travel through the pips on the die. It's a patent pending process for us now. The objective is to travel through all the faces. It's a 3-dimensional game to get to the 6th side and off the board. Okay. The interesting component there, where the difficulty lies, is our bump-in process, where if at the beginning and at the end of each turn, the player, depending on which side they are, so if they're on the 3 side, then that becomes the top playing surface, and the bottom playing surface is the one facing to the ground. So if you position your opponent on the bottom playing surface, you bump them back to start. So it's a bit of bumping going on. Where we increase the level of difficulty, we've added a DVD component in there, where you ask DVD screen challenges, and basically the screen challenges in our regular Bump and Die version, which is the fluorescent version here. Right. Basically, it's based on the 3,000 years history of the die. With our Altius Tunes, we've introduced, like I was saying before, we introduced the environmental aspect, and because the Altius Tunes are battling the big bad pollution, they're looking for alternative life forms in outer space to try and help them combat them. So they're learning about all the different constellations and stars.
Lots of things going on here, and lots of product, and good luck, and have a great future with all of these educational and informative and fun ideas that you're presenting. Now, we mentioned the school aspect of it. If you're interested in the games that you saw here, or would maybe be interested in bringing the educational games to your school, you can contact them by the information that you see there on your screen. bumpanddie.com or altiusgames.com. Number for them as well, 905-682-8491, based out of St. Catharines. And Dick Lee, thank you. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us today and telling us about Olympic Challenge and all the other things, irons in the fire, as they say.
Thank you very much.
Okay, coming up next on Niagara Express, a little drizzle of olive oil and then grilled to perfection. You're going to like this right after we do this.